Today, ladies and gentlemen, out there in Happy Monkey world, we have a special treat for you. It is Happy Monkey Happy Hour with Vlad, the art edition. So we have amazing people, amazing minds that decided to join us today, ladies and gentlemen. First off, hailing from California, we have our friend joining us, Lynn, Vaillancourt. Thank you so much for joining us. Is an amazing artist in California, originally French Canadian, but now residing in California. That's correct, right, Marilyn?
Yes, I'm Mary Lee.
Mary Lee, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay, don't worry. Yeah, I live in Marina del Rey. So yeah, I've been thinking a lot lately. So I can show you a little bit more. I have lined up.
Don't worry about it. You'll get a chance to show us. I just want to introduce everybody first.
Okay.
Then second off, we have Fiona Aboud, artist and photographer to the stars, also part of the Happy Munkey family. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely, anytime, anything for the family.
And last but not least, we have our brother from another mother, Uncut Art. Thank you so much, brother, for taking out the time to rock with your family. We always appreciate you.
Man, anytime, man. You already know how we do. So it was an honor just to be part of the art segment of this beautiful Vlad time.
Yeah, to be honest with you guys, it's just like, this whole thing came up now because of the whole quarantine thing. And it's just like me making an excuse to get to see all my friends that I usually get to see in person, and then just catch up with them to see how they're doing in life and how their businesses are doing and how they're doing personally. It just, we just turned it into a show because might as well let the world see it too. But it was really more about that. It's like, I got to check in with the family, family's big. It's all over the country. It's all over the world. So I was like, why not make a show about it, so that people can understand the whole dynamic of the vibe and the energy that Happy Monkey brings to the world,
This is dope. I love the fact that you guys are keeping it going on the platforms, but just creating different kind of content that would definitely allow people to see our world in different ways. So that's, congrats on your end to just keep coming up with different ways to do that. That's dope.
Definitely. So you guys know this is Happy Monkey Happy Hour with Vlad, right? So typical happy hour is the whole alcohol thing. I don't got to tell you guys that Vlad is got something else on deck. You already know, guys. This is the Happy Monkey Happy Hour. Okay, Mary Lee, I see you. So tell me, guys, how is life where you all are, and how are you guys doing, and how is quarantine treating you? Let's start with you, Mary Lee.
So let's say I've been very focused on creating new pieces and finishing up the pieces I've started.
So I know that maybe you can enlighten everybody here. I told everybody to look up on themselves. Maybe you can enlighten me and the Happy Monkey family a little bit on what type of art you do. I believe it's some pop art or something along those lines. So elaborate on that, because we all know there's many different types of art, and we're trying to definitely enlighten the Happy Monkey family on all the different versions of art and how they work.
Right. So I came up with this ice cream cone.
You gotta speak up a little. I can't hear you.
Oh, okay. So I came up with this new design. It's an ice cream cone, and it just picked up very quickly. So basically, I have my copyright on my ice cream cones, and what I do is I just come up with colors, new colors together. I have other designs, but the ice cream cone is what made me mostly out there doing shows, and then I collab with one other artist that I really like too. So I'm gonna show you later. We worked on this all day. Yeah, I'm kind of just putting all my energy to create and finish whatever I had to finish, that I don't get distracted because of the quarantine. I keep focusing on creating, and yeah.
And how long have you been in this art scene in the pop art thing? When did you have this epiphany?
So basically, I was a pharmaceutical sales rep last year, and I just finished this huge contract for a very big, one of the top 5 companies in the world. And then I started painting this ice cream cone, and then like I got this auction at the Fine Art Museum, and then I sold 3 pieces there. And then LA Fashion Week called me, and they're like, "Hey, we want you to come and be part of the show." And I'm like, "This is unreal! Like, I can't believe like copy." So,
Congratulations! I'm happy to hear that. Thank you for sharing. So Fiona, I know a little bit, but me and the Happy Munkey world need to know more about exactly all the amazing things you've done, because you try to keep it secret and you try to be very humble and very modest. But I did my research and I know you've done a lot of major things. So we need you to tell the Happy Munkey world about all your amazing photography and your political activated art that has inspired so many.
Thank you so much, Vlad. So I'm a photographer. I'm primarily a portrait photographer, and I've been working professionally for about 20 years. And I also make fine art. My work is, I'm very inspired by bringing people together, very much inspired by trying to help people understand others, understand themselves, and give people like different perspectives on humanity and what it, you know, what, for instance, what it means to be an American. After 9/11, I did a 7-year-long project on Sikhs in America, the religious group, and I traveled all around this country photographing people. And after 9/11, there was a lot of hate crimes against Sikh Americans because of their turbans. So what started out as just like this amazing project finished in this one guy I photographed who was Captain Sikh America. Oh, he had created a cartoon on Captain Sikh America, and I made him dress up, and we went around New York, and it was a Puerto Rican Day Parade, and people just went
We
nuts
all know that's a
over
big
him.
day in New York. That's the biggest parade in New York City.
Oh my God, you have no idea. People went nuts about him, and people, you know, had different reactions to him. Like some people were like, Osama, Osama, and I turned to them. I was like, man, it's like me calling you Dominican, and then he was like, oh my God.
You know, you call a Puerto Rican a Dominican. You know, that's fighting words in New York.
Him calling this guy, his name is Vish, calling him Osama and calling him, you know, not a Sikh, his religion.
That was a good analogy to help them understand.
Yeah, no, for sure. So creating understanding, creating sort of this sense of common humanity. One of the projects I'm working on now is I'm combining people, their faces. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, we can see loud and clear, definitely.
But I'm taking like couples or parents and their children and physically combining their images, because I really believe in like the physical process of photography, and just trying to envision like what we kind of look like as a collective. So yeah, I'm very inspired by people. I love people. I love New York. I love the diversity of the city. And
didn't you do something that was also very political? I think you did like some type of Trump painting or something like that.
Oh, I lit Trump on fire. Yes. Yeah, for the protests, for the marches, I lit him on fire. And if you go to my Instagram, it's all over that. Yeah, I was just so angry, and I was using fire in another project, and I just took his picture, and thank God we live in a country where we can do that, right?
Freedom of speech, yes.
And then, but also on a more positive note, I did photography and video for Andrew Yang's campaign. And actually I have here the Cannabis version
I was a big fan of Andrew Yang. That's nice.
So do you see the little
Yes,
the little
of course.
leaves?
Yes.
Look. So he's a big supporter of legalization, and I wanted to just create pictures that, you know, could be used to give to donors, or just other images for him, and so I created that. But yeah, So
No, definitely. Thank you for
a little bit about
sharing.
me.
Yeah, we just wanted to get a summary of like, you know, what you guys have done that really inspired people. And then last but not least, Uncut. What was the turning point when you said you know, that you felt like the art world called you to be full-time and you took the full dive, Uncut?
That was in like 2014.
We can't see your hair, Uncut. We're looking at your shirt over here. There we go.
Smoking. I was smoking and the hole was too small. That was, I said,
so yeah, because I know all about you and you know some of the people, but I want the people to get an idea, you know, since we're all going back to where, you know, the real epiphany happened and the major benchmarks that you guys had in art to cross over.
Let me see. I had came back to New York and I was managing a studio in Midtown. No, not Midtown, in Times Square, actually, right there on 38th and 8th. And I used to just be in the studio all day, just playing. I used to just start creating my designs, but I just didn't know what to do with them. Just had a whole bunch of artwork and didn't know which direction to go with them. And I just started Googling what artists that had similar kind of techniques and when that made it and made an impact, really. That's what it was. We made an impact. And then I looked up what artists had similar techniques that does similar, that have like a similar drive, like I was planning to unleash on myself. Yeah. And I Googled these artists and Googled ways to exploit my art, and street art was the best way. And street art was just a matter of just putting my art out there, not caring about nothing and not really waiting for a gallery or nothing like that, which I really wanted to be in galleries and museums. But I felt like that was just like waiting on people and handing and just like asking for opportunities. And I wasn't planning on being that person, that artist that wanted to sit around and ask for opportunities. So I wanted to create my own. So I started taking my artwork and making prints of them and then pasting them out in the streets. That was in 2014. I left the studio, and which was like bad for every artist that used to work under me. They used to I used to run the studio. Like that closed down and everything went left. And I started following this art thing where I just started going out at night from like 10 o'clock to like whatever time in the morning, putting out my art. And not telling nobody I was doing this, I just started doing it. And that was the beginning, and that's 2014. I started putting out the Michael Jacksons everywhere, and then the Steve Jobs everywhere.
And by the response of the people, you felt like it was your calling to take it full on.
Yeah, because the art had a message, and people loved the message. And I started out, the first message was all these strange pieces come together to create this beautiful image. And as humans, so can we. And that was around the Michael Jackson's image that I had out there. And I knew that my art has to carry a message, because without the message, it was just art. And I didn't want to be just an artist, you know, because an artist was just, to me, it was too simple, it was too easy. You know, to just do flashy things. I mean, I was looking at it like, oh yeah, it's too easy. I gotta do something that could impact the world in such a way that it could change history, you know? And I just started going out there and putting out those kind of art. And then Protect Your Heart came like a year later. Protect Your Heart I had before that. I just didn't know how to do that either. And that's another thing too, having stuff that I sit on a lot of stuff, but I just don't know how to do them, how to express them to people, and how to bring them out in the best way possible. Not everything requires the same technique. So that's one of my biggest challenges, is figuring out how do you display this artwork that you have, or this message that you have, or this technique that you have, or this idea that you have, because there's so many different ways. And that takes time, because I sit on the idea for years until the time comes, and usually the time comes when the people need it. And that always is the point. And that's when Protect Your Heart.
I'm gonna tell you something crazy right now, right, guys? I don't know if it's gonna make sense to you guys, but in my own way, I feel like Happy Munkey, the company, is doing art in a certain kind of way. And the reason being for it is that so many people don't understand that, you know, when I tell people, you know, what a company we are and that we don't actually sell cannabis, people don't understand it. And I feel like it's an art and like you said, Uncut, trying to deliver a message, trying to deliver a culture, the cannabis culture of New York. I feel like it's been a kind of an art to bottle it up, as you said, Uncut, and try to bring it to the world in a way that they can all understand and all to relate. I feel like it's been like a sort of an art project in a certain way, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does.
Well, you're bringing together so many people, you know, and the culture is an inclusive one.
So that's why I felt like that, because it's just like, you know, nobody understood. How could this be a business? There's not an actual product. I'm like, well, you know, painting the picture through events, through media, through so many different ways, and harnessing the New York City cannabis culture has been an art to help the world understand it. And the people in it, and basically being the voice for all the people in it and trying to express that in a compound way for the world to get the message, you know?
That's an art in itself, like you said, because it takes creativity to actually put all this stuff together and make it work in such a harmony that everybody loves it. You know, like this live right here, that was an art, you know? It requires planning and a very artistic imagination for it to work, for you to foresee it, that it can work, and then making it work, you know? So that's all we do. We create so we create situations like this. So it's what makes the beauty of everything. And, you know, especially during these times when we have time to create.
I got a very important question for you guys, and I'm interested for the answer. We're gonna start with you, Marilee. How has cannabis what role has cannabis played in inspiring and your creative process?
Yeah, so I think it really helps me to connect to myself and my emotions together. Helps me to focus and really get in my bubble, kind of. So I can really just see the bigger picture of like my vision, and I just put it on a canvas, come up with colors. So my art is very colorful. I really wanted like it to have an impact on people. And this ice cream cone, let's say it's like also like the cold world that we live in.
Let me see it. Let me see the ice cream cone.
Like this one, let's say.
Okay. So what is it? What is it that you said it exemplifies?
This is kind of like the cold world that we live in.
I love it.
With a sense of like excitement, dream. It's like kind of playful, and it makes people feel good. Especially like in quarantine, people are like depressed, stressed, and all this stuff. So people want to get like those baby cones because they want to feel good, they want to feel better. Like this is what it actually makes people feel like. And I feel like cannabis helps me to get in my bubble, really create and forget about everything around. Kind of like my meditation.
No, definitely. Thank you for sharing. How about you, Fiona? How do you think cannabis affects your creative process, and how does it play into your art and your photography?
So for me, it was very much cannabis. I know it sounds cliche, but it really saved my life. I had really debilitating postpartum depression after I had my twins. And, you know, conventional pharmaceuticals really didn't work for me. And I mean, cannabis like brought me back to life. And to this day, I use it to help balance out a lot of the hormone fluctuations that I have. And it's so healing for me. I mean, it does for me what I hope my art does for people, which is send out a positive, healing, loving vibe. And that's, to me, like, that's everything, to just be healthy and happy and feel good. And it's meant a lot to me. And so I'm very appreciative of cannabis. It's been a lifesaver.
Oh, thank you for sharing that story, you know what I mean? And how, you know, it's affected you, and I didn't know that, you know, and I'm glad that cannabis has played that much of a positive role in your life. How about you, Uncut? How would you say cannabis affects your artistic process and inspiration and everything else?
Well, I've been smoking way before the art, but I would say that what happens is, you know how when you put a blinder on a horse and they're so focused on that goal at hand.
Yes.
You know that on a racehorse?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Cannabis helps my blinder stays up and stays on, because currently
basically keeps you in that tunnel vision.
Keeps me in my tunnel vision, away from the outside world that is so frustrating and so non-productively driven towards non-productive stuff. When we're trying to create productive stuff, we need to be in a space where we can harness our energy without no interference. And people, your own friends, are interference, you know? So sometimes smoking allows you to still be in a space where you could be with your friends, but not really.
No, definitely. I have another question for you guys, because even me myself and I would say I started really getting into art in the last 2-3 years and really doing my due diligence on it. Maybe you guys can elaborate on it, because art is so complex and has so many different departments, like what the difference is between pop art, street art, and photography art, and all these different like boxes and sections they put them in, so you guys can elaborate and help, you know, people like that are not knowledgeable in the art world, where all these terms come from and why.
Yeah.
Do you want any?
Yeah, go ahead. Doesn't matter. Go ahead. You go, Fiona.
I mean, I just feel like it doesn't matter necessarily. Well, okay, yes, there are distinctions in terms of like what fits into what box, but for me, art is just whatever has an emotional impact and whatever you connect with. Some people say, you know, with contemporary art, oh, they don't get it, they don't, you know, but it really is in the eye of the beholder, as the cliche goes. And as long as you feel something or it impacts you or you're inspired, like Uncutt, when I see your art on the street, I'm having a really horrible day. I'm just like, it uplifts me, and I know, I'm like, oh, I love that. It's like it's a wonderful surprise to just sort of come across your art on the street. And you know, it's without art, I mean, especially in today's world, I really feel like art is going to what is going to heal our community and our society.
How do you think it's going to do that, Fiona, as far as the healing part? What is your perspective on that?
Well, it's so unfathomable, right? Just all of the loss that through art, through creativity, through being inspired, people begin to heal, and they can express themselves or experience art or you know, are able to produce, you know, look at Instagram, how many people are making their own shows right now, and it's an outlet. Every single human being is a creative being and can make art, and it's like through that expression is how I think society will heal themselves.
Thank you for sharing. So what do you think, Marilee? How do you feel like that distinguishes your art is categorized pop art? How do you feel about all the boxes and categories that they try to put art in?
No, that's for sure. I think like my art is very like more repetitive. So I just like come up with like the same kind of designs, but I try to like make them a little bit more different. I know that like, let's say she's a photographer, so like she has a vision, and if you want to like make a picture or like come up with a video, like you have to have like your ideas and come up with something to inspire and impact other people too. So as she said, like everything is very different. So I would say like pop art for me is kind of like very repetitive for some pieces, because I kind of created like kind of a logo and like a lifestyle and a brand around what I do, and I just try to like inspire people and always like come up with new colors, because I like to play with colors a lot. It's kind of like art therapy. I'm trying to do. And so everything is like very playful and also very fun. So yeah, this is how.
No, thank you for sharing and for explaining that. So, how about you, Uncut? What do you think about all these different categories and the way that they try to put everybody in separate boxes and all these things?
See, there's two things to it. As I listened to everybody else's answer, it kind of made me come up with like, made me understand the question even more. Because there's two things to it. Because there's the pop art, right, which is the art that she does, right, yes. And then the pop artiste, which is a different type of beast, because the pop artist comes with a culture of pop artists. See, she might do pop art, but she might not be a pop artist. She might just be an artist that creates different art, but then one of her collections is just pop art, you know? So with me, it's like, I understand the categories because it all describes, it's like music. You got gangster music, you got this rap, you got this rap. You know? That's
what I want you to help decipher for the people that are not as knowledgeable in art, so they could understand why these categories exist.
Yes, it's like music. You might have a gangster rapper, or you might have just a rapper that might do a gangster song. That doesn't make him a gangster rapper, you know? So it's like they categorize you based on these different things, but as an artist, you have to claim your category and who you are and what you are, and that's one thing. See, if somebody say you're a pop artist and you fall into that, then that's on you. Just like a rapper that is not a gangster rapper, but might make a gangster song that all the gangsters like, but now they're trying to make him turn into a gangster rapper when he's not a gangster rapper because he made a gangster song. So I respect the categories because it kind of describes the kind of art that you do. I mean, there's different mediums, there's different art, there's different techniques, you know? So it's like, I do a lot of different techniques because I like to just have fun with art. I don't do art for the art world because the art world might want you to do it to just be fit into the little.
You do it for the people.
Yeah. So I do whatever I want. So of course, if they can't categorize you and keep you in the pocket, then they might not want to mess with you because, okay, you all over the place. Okay, that's too much for them, you know? So in a way, it's just based on how you look at it, you know? I'm just looking at it to the point where I didn't start. At first, when I thought about being an artist, I was like, oh, I want to be in the museums and all that stuff, which I will be. But to go through the chain of like you have to do this, and I refuse to. It's just like a NBA, a basketball player that went through the whole schooling process to become an NBA star versus a regular basketball player that just played good ball and just is like one of those A1 basketball players that do all those tricks. They still famous, they still get the same amount of bread, but they're in two different kind of like places. One is playing for the NBA, which is prestige, which is the art world, which is what's the auction houses? The big auction houses.
Those,
you know what I'm saying? So you could be down with those, or you could be down with the galleries, with the I forgot all their names anyway, with the freaking low base galleries, or you could be with the regular mom and pop galleries, or you could just be independent, just like a basketball player, or just like an artist, a rapper, you know? So you could be with the major label or with the independent label or just independent. Mm-hmm. So it's different ways to look at it, but all the categories make sense. But the and trying to put you in a box, that nobody falls for, and whatever art you in, nobody want to be put in a box.
So basically what you're saying, Uncut, is like R&B, pop, hip hop, country, is something along those lines.
Yeah, it's all music, but it's all different kind of music, just like art. You know, you got fine art, you got pop art, you got this art, you got that art. So, you know, just like I said, just one artist could just do an R&B song and a country song and a rap song on his album. Just like an artist could have a show and she could have pop art and she could have fine art, she could have photography all in one show. You know, that might throw people off, but that's her being a creative person, not being an artist. That's like, I'm not staying in the box of being an artist. I just want to create. So whatever I create, y'all gonna eat because that's me. And she might just have a piece of wood with some paint splattered on it because that's what she want to do. That's a creative for you.
See me, like my personal opinion is that I've basically and my analogy has been that, because I like to use after I do due diligence and I learn about things, I like to use my own logic and practicality, and that's what I felt. I just felt it's just different forms of expression. Whatever category I've seen it in, that's what it comes off to me. Now, yeah. Guys, I got another question for you. I know there's a lot of them all over the world, but I'm gonna keep it to the main one here in the US. I wanna know how that affects you guys and what influences this has in the art world, and why is it such a big deal, big deal here in the US? Art Basel, how has that affected any of you guys, and why? So for the people that don't understand the art world as much, why is it such a big art conference in the US? We can start with you, Fiona, because I remember last time I was in Art Basel, I ran into you down there in Art Basel.
It's true.
It was a pleasant surprise.
It was awesome. We had a great time. That was a lot of fun. I think Art Basel is, well, it's the commercial center of the art world in the United States. It's where everybody goes to buy art and to see like what's the latest and greatest. But it's so diverse, and there's so many different kinds of art. Like Uncut was talking about, there's like the blue chip galleries, and then the galleries that are in the middle, and then, you know, the street artists are everywhere. Like the street art is unbelievable during Art Basel. And then there's just like performances. It's really like an overwhelming amount of visual stimulation, and it's just parties and fun, and it's really, it's a lot of fun. It's really overwhelming. I think that as an artist, it's just important to go just to see friends and to meet people that could potentially buy art from you. I've sold stuff going to Art Basel just by meeting people, and just to give yourself the opportunity to even be in that scene, even if you're not invited, which I rarely am. And
neither was I.
I mean, you know, it's all good. You just go and hang out and see. I call it like you let the winds take you where they do, and you just kind of meet this person and then
the
go here.
The vibe attracts your tribe.
Exactly. The energy you give off is what you get back. It's true. And it's always been a good time, and it's always been valuable for me to go. And I don't know what's gonna happen this year. It's too far out in the future to know exactly.
Well, I know it was a pleasant surprise to see you there. How about you, Marilee? How do you think what do you think about Art Basel, what role it plays in the art world here in the US? And I don't know if you've been and how it's affected you, and what's your opinion on it?
Yes, I've been this year, and I think that it just brings a lot of people internationally connected together, and it can be art on different levels. It could be fashion, it could be music, it could be art like paintings, but it really brings such people into like a good world and good energy, and even like DJs or like artists like painters or like street artists or like even fashion companies come, and it's just like so entertaining and so inspiring too.
Okay, thank you for sharing, Marilee. How about you, last but not least, Mr. Uncut? What is your opinion on Art Basel, and why is it such a big epicenter every year, and what role does it play in the art world here in the US?
First, I think everybody should experience it at least one time. And of course, after that one time, you're going to want to go again.
I can attest to that.
First of all, Art Basel was like the meeting place of everything art in the world that happens every year. So you would have, everything: buyers, collectors, sellers, galleries, viewers, fans. Everybody just flocked down there and turned it into a big festival. Actually, I've been going since my first year. Like my first year as an art in the art world, I was told about, yo, you have to go to Art Basel. I'm like, what's that? It's like, yo, it's every year in Miami. Miami? I got family in Miami. What? I was down there, like, with my eyes closed. I was like, yo, I'm going down there. I'm going to spray the town up with my artwork. And I did just that. And then from there, I just literally got my first mural the first year I went down there. And it was just like, and people was just so, I was like, well, how you get a mural? No, it's so hard to get a mural in Art Basel. I'm like, I didn't know that. I didn't. Like, thanks for telling me. But yeah. So it's a fun place to go, and it's so much about Art Basel. Like, first of all, I've never seen the whole Art Basel. As long as I've been going for the last 5 years, I've never experienced the whole thing because you can't. It's so much to do that you cannot see it all. Like, you cannot. I'm always working, so I get to see nothing, and it's fun. Definitely want to go down there and be optimistic. Like, my first year, and I'm gonna just share that with everybody because it's important for people that just think that you need to be invited to go down there. That's a hoax.
Yes, that's my point, because, like, you know, I know people know, like, you know, it's a big party scene down there for Art Basel, but I want you guys to explain to people the art side of it, of why it's such a big art holiday and why it's such a big art conference, so they can understand the reason for it, aside from it just being a good time. You know?
You can get your start at Art Basel. You know, depending on what kind of artist you are, a lot of things can happen at Art Basel. But here's my story, and it's just I'm gonna tell you my tricks and trades of everything. My first year Art Basel, I was told that what was happening. I Googled it. I studied the shit from just watching what happened the previous year, and I understood that I had to be down there. But I understood that I had to be down there early because I didn't know nobody. So I went down there like literally a month in advance and just started putting my art down there and started just being in the scene, because a month early everybody's setting up for Art Basel. So everybody's down there setting up and everybody's frantically running around. Everybody's always looking for artists around Art Basel. So you're down there, you definitely gonna be in position to meet somebody that's gonna need an artist or something that they're doing, because they're always running late. It's always the last minute stuff, because what happened with companies always try to take advantage of artists. So they try not to pay them until the last minute, until the artist say fuck you, and then they gotta scramble now and go find other ways to do stuff. Because if I say, yo, if I charge somebody $500, which is like nothing for me to do something, they'll try to talk me down until the last minute, and then when they realize that I wouldn't do it for $200, they're trying to find a regular artist to do it for them for $200 or $250 or $300. We're trying to be cheap. So around Basel, there's a lot of those people running around trying to find artists last minute. So it's your opportunity to link up with some of these people while they're down there frantic. I was down there just chilling, you know, in a coffee shop, just meeting people. And I met some people that were doing a non-profit organization. They wanted some artists to paint for them for free, paint some tables that they was gonna auction off for sale so that money could go towards some kids. I'm always down for charity shit. Anybody say charity for kids or charity for homeless, I'm like, you don't even have to ask me twice. I don't even ask you how much. I don't really care. I don't want no money for it, because I'm always at service to those kind of things. So as soon as I heard that, I was like, yeah, of course I'll pay for some kids. And then they had a big facility where the last of their worries was the facility. They just wanted to make money for these kids. So they had a big ass wall that they wasn't thinking about, because they didn't care about the wall. They just cared about their event and getting their events going. So they was rushing around. So I got the opportunity to do that wall because it was just there. And that was one of the main walls at Art Basel in Wynwood, which lasted, by the way, for 3 years. They didn't erase that wall for 3 years. One of the longest running walls in Wynwood. It was the Steve Jobs that I did. So
basically,
Cool.
Your Wall Street tip to all up and coming artists. Art Basel is a great opportunity. If you get there a month early, you could really get the behind the scenes and really get the best opportunities.
You get so much. A month early, you see everybody. You see the people that's in charge of the charger. You know, and they're always frantic. There's gonna be, out of 10 people, somebody gonna be running around looking for some type of help.
Now, guys, it's time to get a little bit more into the fun stuff. First of all, cheers, guys. Happy hour with Vlad.
Happy hour, Vlad. Cheers. I gotta go outside for this because I can't.
So now is that it gets fun, guys. Now I want each one of you guys to tell me your most memorable 420 cannabis story. Whatever it is, the most memorable experience with cannabis that you guys can remember. Let's start with you, Marilee. What's your most memorable experience with cannabis that it's a great memory for you, whatever it is?
Yeah, I would say this collab that I do with this artist from LA. She's a street artist. So before we start creating, we always like take edibles and then just tap into like creativity. We did this show for 2 years. It was at minimal effort here in LA, and then we just had such a great moment. This use piece of like a vision that we had for 2020, and bringing so much like magic into this new year, even if like everything is going a little bit crazy, because we just went over it and trying to finish this piece. And yeah, so we take we like to smoke and just like
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing, Marilee. How about you, Fiona? I'm interested to hear your most memorable cannabis experience.
Actually, I'd have to say more recently is my most memorable, because right when the quarantine hit, I had just come back from Houston. And so I self-quarantined myself from my family, and I was just super depressed and very like paralyzed. Like I didn't know what to create. I knew in order to fill my soul with hope, I needed to create something. And I started to just make these hearts. And then I don't know if you can see it, but on the back are the different hospitals that are taking the patients in New York. So I put like the Empire State Building, and then I started to just make these hearts and put like, this is Mount Sinai. I live right close to Mount Sinai. And I just came up with this idea, just thinking about love and how love is the most important thing in our world, right? It's what feeds us all and makes us all want to keep going. And so I make a canna oil with coconut oil, and it's so therapeutic. And I just had this feeling of love and embrace, and I was able to come up with this project, which I haven't done other than just show people, but I'm hoping that maybe I can be a part of something that raises money for the different hospitals or the people that need extra money. I mean the artists, and photographers now, jobs are few and far between. And so anyway, that was my most memorable cannabis experience most recently.
See, but it's always about finding a silver lining in any situation and looking at the positive and, making the best of a bad situation. That's what you did. I think that was quite nice. And that was definitely something that, it was good for you, and then you did something good with your time. So that's a win-win. Now you, Mr. Uncut, what is your most memorable cannabis experience? I'm sure you have money.
Well, I just went outside to smoke my lighter. I didn't have one. I can't find a lighter. And then I tried to get inside my house. I was locked out of my house while y'all was doing all that talk. And I was just like trying to get in. I was like, fuck, I can't believe I'm locked out. And I had to fucking punch a hole through the damn screen and then mess that up to get inside my house. So all this just happened just now while y'all was talking about that cannabis moment. And I'm finally in my house looking for a fucking lighter. And I got one. So you always keep a cheap lighter around. Because you never know when you're going to need one of them bullshit lighters, because, they come in handy. But yeah, so That was a moment for your ass. I couldn't think about my moment because I was just like so frantically stuck outside my house. So that was just a moment.
So now you back.
Yeah, yo, I was stuck at my house.
So, Fiona mentioned something that, she wishes she could do something for philanthropy issues or charity or whatever. And I want to touch base on something that you were a part of, Uncutt. So, the reason I'm going to mention it is because right now there's something going on in the cannabis industry, which is sort of an oxymoron. So right now, in some places, cannabis is deemed essential. Where you are, Marilee, is deemed essential cannabis, right? So even though 90% of businesses are not open, it's a great stride that cannabis is deemed essential. One of the businesses that are open. But the flip side to that is that, what do you say to all the people that are incarcerated for long periods of time for cannabis, and now they're looking at the news from jail and cannabis is deemed essential and corporate people are profiting off of it? The same thing that they're in prison for now. So the reason I mentioned it, and I was mentioning Uncutt, is because Uncutt was something we work with an organization called Last Prisoner Project. Yes. And what the Last Prisoner Project does, guys, is raises money for legal fees and for appeals and for awareness for all these people that are doing long-term prison sentences for cannabis. So Uncutt, I don't know if you guys know, this is one of his pieces, by the way, guys.
Oh, cool.
So he donated a piece to the donation for this cause. So I say that to maybe get some of your opinions on what do you guys think about that, as far as it being deemed essential, but there's still people in jail for it for long periods of time, all the way up to life in prison.
I went to the event that you had for
the you were there. Prisoner. Yes.
Yeah, actually, I met Uncutt briefly at that event. I was really excited to have met him. Anyway, I think it's atrocious, and it's unfathomable. How are people making millions and millions of dollars on cannabis, and people are still languishing in prisons? It's unconscionable. It makes me physically ill to think about it, because it's so racist, and it's so ironic, and it really shows the injustices of our legal system, of our society, and it's I hope severe reparations are paid to those that are still incarcerated for cannabis in states that it's legal, and people are making millions, and the state is making billions
of dollars.
Billions, yes. I mean, it's abhorrent. I'm appalled that is still in existence.
What did you think about the event you attended, and the cause great. And the energy there?
It was amazing. I mean, again, cannabis brings together a community that is just full of love and full of people that want to come together and connect. That's it. I mean, it's the best possible community, in my opinion.
No, thank you for always supporting it and believing in us, and that's what we try to do. We try to use our platforms to bring awareness to these things, because, like I said, we're really happy with all the strides that cannabis is making in society, but we cannot forget about the fallen soldiers and the bad parts about it that still exist. So what do you think about that, Uncutt? Because you were part of that amazing day and part of that amazing project.
I mean, that's all we talk about, is how fucked up the system is. So there's nothing to say, really.
What did you think about that day? What did you think about that day? What we did?
Yeah, that's all I want to talk about, really, because I just think I like what we're doing as a way to combat that. That's the only thing that really matters, because it's redundant. Keep talking about how fucked up this whole system is, and we already know it's set up for failure in every aspect and every sense of it. So nothing was fair about it from the beginning. So I don't like to talk about that because we already know that. But definitely the event.
What did you think about the cause?
It was like the purpose of the event is beautiful because as a community coming together to hold our own is what we're supposed to do, and just showing that as a community kind of is an example for all communities, that haven't stood for their peoples that are probably locked up in similar minute nothing situations, and there's a lot of people that's in jail for nothing, So I definitely applaud us for doing what we can do for these situations, and we just got to keep doing what we have to do, because they're not gonna, like people that are in those situations are never gonna admit that they were wrong. So I'm not really looking for them to say, oh my God, we are wrong and da da da. I don't really care for reparation. I just want out. I just want out and leave us the F alone. That's it.
But definitely thank you for being part of that day and for donating, your art and your time, because it was really nice. And I think the energy that day and the passion that everybody had was felt, really well. It's definitely one of the best events I've ever hosted, because it was for such a good cause, and to see all these amazing people and energy in one place, putting their platforms and their voice behind an amazing cause like that felt really good.
You guys did a great job. That was awesome.
What do you think, Marilee, about this topic?
Yeah, I think we definitely need to go on some evolution with that, and I agree with you guys that this is unfair for sure, but we can't it's kind of we don't need to bring this negativity, and I think that unfair for sure, but we can probably bring in a message with art and how cannabis can affect us in a good way to express ourselves. And yeah, so basically even doing auctions or stuff like that to really put the word out there. It's a great way of changing things too.
By the way, that day, Marilee, we raised $50,000 for this charity.
That's amazing.
Wow. That's great. I didn't know that. That's amazing.
Which is very important, like I said, which goes to the lawyers and the applications and, and the awareness of getting these people out, because a lot of them, don't have the means to really have the best representation. So that's what the funds go to, a lot of,
Hopefully a change in leadership in our country will help fix that, because I feel like if something was changed at a federal level, then that would then lift those sentences. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being too optimistic, but one thing at a time.
I got another question for you guys. Marilee might not have the best answer because she doesn't know our company and never been to our place, but I want to ask you guys, Uncutt and Fiona, how did you guys find out about Happy Munkey the first time, and what was your experience like the first time when you actually came? Start with you, Uncutt.
I honestly think that I can't really fully remember, but I think
yeah, whatever you can remember.
I think International P kept
yes, I remember that. Yes,
and that I should come back, and I'm a cannabis lounge, and the only place I've heard about Cannabis Lounge is in Amsterdam and in Canada. Have them, I think, not in Toronto, but in Vancouver.
Yes, I've heard the same thing.
Past cannabis lounges that I've had the experience of going into virtually. I've never been there personally, but I've gone in there on somebody's phone to see the space. And when I heard that New York had a thing, I'm like, wait, if it's anything like what I've experienced on the virtual thing, and so when I went down there, it was just like, it was even more than that, because it was just like, it was idea, like, so right. Then on top of it, I've been to that studio so many times, and to see how y'all it's like so dope. So my first experience was dope. It was dope. It was so dope that I wanted to bring everybody I know there.
No, and ever since we've been locked in and we've been family, man. And thank you for always believing and supporting our movement, man, because you definitely have been super, you know, A1 from day one, and always, you know, bring the best energy and the best intentions toward us, and we appreciate you.
All day.
How about you, Fiona?
I went to the Cannabis conference at the Javits Center. I think it was 2 years ago.
Yes.
And then I just, like I said, I just kind of went where the winds took me, and they took me to Happy Munkey. And then since then, I have been such a fan, and so many people that I recommended have just thanked me and said, oh my God, Happy Munkey is incredible, and they love the community, and they love you and everyone that works there, and just it's an amazing resource, and I feel really lucky to be part of the family. Super lucky.
The same with you. You know, ever since, you've always been so supportive and been definitely, you know, a big bringing positive energy towards our way. So we really appreciate you also, Fiona. So Cameron, you know, this young lady hasn't been, but I told her to do a little bit of due diligence and check it out a little bit. What did you think?
I think it's a very good way of like promoting a lifestyle around creatives, because cannabis can really help people, and I think this is very niche as well. So yeah, I think this is very interesting, and I hope I can come and meet you and see this business and know more about it.
No, definitely. When you come to New York, I'm sure you have you get the red carpet everywhere you go, but we can provide you the green carpet once you land here.
Thank you.
So guys, what are you smoking on during the quarantine? Right here, I have this brand. Is a friend of mine that has farms in California. It's called Fuego. What do you guys have? What have you guys been smoking on during the quarantine?
My actual favorite right now is the Blue Dream.
The Blue Dream.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great for a creative.
They always love the Blue Dream. What I got? I really don't remember the name, so let me just go and check for you guys.
How about you, Fiona?
Mendo breath.
Mendo breath.
Happy Munkey Style.
Look what I got.
Oh, look at you.
What's that?
It's so cute.
Oh my God.
Mendo cheese.
Mendo cheese.
Okay, so what I'm smoking on right now is called Biscotti.
Oh, I have some biscotti too, actually. I forgot about that. Yeah,
some Biscotti.
For me, I don't know if this is true for you guys, but I find personally indica to be a little bit more creative. It produces for me more of a creative high than sativa.
Well, I mean,
create more with indica.
I sleep more with indica. I'm good. Because I don't sleep at all, so indica just totally highlights that part. It highlights that part to the point where people know I don't sleep with indica.
Okay.
But I can get away with it with sativa. I could always get away with it. Because like right before, if I feel like I'm about to fall asleep and it's like 3 a.m, I could smoke and it'll just give me another hour or two of just being up. Just the process of rolling up will wake me up. And then I'll just be like back up on it and I'll just pull another 2 hours of work. And I would not fall asleep if I keep smoking. It's weird.
Guys, now
so it keeps you up. Interesting. Okay.
Now it's time, guys, for the $1 million question. We ask every guest that's ever been on Happy Munkey. I'm interested in to hear your opinions. think Uncutt's answered it before, but you know, we've evolved since then. So I'm sure he's got a different perspective now. The $1 million question, guys, we ask all the guests that's ever come on any Happy Munkey platform is, if you had to describe Happy Munkey, the movement, the media, the place, and whatever you know about it in one word, and why. And we're gonna start with you, Fiona.
Love.
Why love? Why love?
It's just a vibe. You walk in and like it's just love. Like people just give a shit. I don't know. Like maybe it's just I've been in New York for too long. I don't know. I mean I walk in and it's like
nobody's ever used that. I
no,
like
but
it.
seriously, how are you? Like my dad passed away a year and a half ago. I brought him to Happy Munkey. Everyone, like, just your dad. Oh my God, I'm so happy to meet him. Like come here. Like let me show you. Like just the best. Just love. You guys are family. Like I said.
You know why I said? You know it's funny. Can I say something to that?
All right, say something to that.
I want to say something to that. I think everybody that goes to Happy Munkey understand that it's about the experience. So no matter who you are, you're so enthused of sharing the experience. So whoever comes the first time there, you want them to have the most enormous best experience because we know it's about the experience. That's all that matters, you know? So, and once we become part of that Happy Munkey family, we all part of that experience, you know? So I just wanted to add to that.
No, it's true. It's really, really true.
So how about you, Marilee? I know that you don't know much about it. You haven't been, but as you see, you know, the part of the family here, you know, you did a little due diligence through the media. What do you think? What would be your one word and why?
I think it's kind of like support, and this is kind of like
support. Why support?
Because I feel like you guys are like supporting each other a lot, and this makes like other people feel very good about themselves and what they do, and they like kind of want to pursue what they do, and they have a community and people helping us. And this is what helped me moving here and doing all that stuff, because I have so much support and people believing in me, and this is what brought me here today. And I feel like you guys are all connected on that level, which is like, it's hard to find these people, you know, because other people can see you do good or create and like just try to put you down and be like, hey, like this is not okay, like this is not like what you should be doing, or you're not this person, and you guys just like connect all together and support each other, I would say.
That was well said. Thank you so much.
Well, you're part of the family, so we're here for you.
You're part of the family, and I'm so happy you felt like that, because that is part of what we do. You know, I feel like we're just a vessel, and our biggest thing is just shedding light on all the people in the family. And in the family, we have artists, athletes, you know, blue collar people, every single kind of person in the world. And I feel like we're just a voice for them and trying to look at the best sides of everybody that's in the family as part of what we do. So I think that makes a lot of sense. Now, last but not least, Uncut, one word and why.
Oh man. One word. Superfragilistic SB
Okay. Now why? Why super dopest, fabulous, all that stuff? Why is the $1 million question. Uncut. Why?
Because I've heard everything else. and the experience, you can't really find no actual word, because it's a sentence that explains it. So
okay,
I just think that word is such a one of those quotes that everybody knows, means a lot without just using one word. So I mean, just using one word means a lot. So I think that just says it all. Like, oh my God, I could get it. When they hear it, they're like, okay, I get it. It's not just one word. You can't just use one word. You have to use a million words and then put it into one word, like superfragilistic. Yeah, I like those shits.
Thank you so much, Uncut. I appreciate you guys. So listen, guys, I really appreciate you guys coming to kick it here with me on Happy Hour, and expressing your talents with the Happy Monkey family out there and give them a better understanding of how the art world works and what role you guys play in it. You know, I really appreciate you guys, and I'm honored to call you guys family and to know you guys, because I feel like you guys are all doing amazing things that, you know, society really needs. Now, I need you guys to all tell the Happy Monkey family and world out there where they can find you. What should they be looking for upcoming in 2020 from you guys? So, you know, tell people, you know, all your different, you know, ways so they can find you, social media, otherwise, websites, so like that, they can stay tuned on what you guys are doing. Let's start with you, Fiona.
Well, obviously there's a lot of uncertainty right now, but I think that, I mean, what's interesting is like to be an artist in today's day and age, it really makes you reevaluate your process. And so, for instance, like my project where I'm combining faces, now I'm reaching out to people on Instagram saying, hey, can you provide me with a portrait of your family? And then I'm gonna combine all the images together. So it's this idea that I'm a photographer, but now because I'm restricted, I have to ask people to take the pictures for me, and then I'm going to do my process with their images. So on Instagram, I'm Fiona Aboud, Aboud, and across my website is the same. Across Twitter, all the social stuff, I'm the same. And I think like the evolution of my process as a photographer, it'll be interesting to see what happens when I'm forced, because of our situation, to sort of change the way I work. And it's exciting and scary at the same time, but at the same time, the most important thing is that everybody stays safe and that, you know, we're able to keep going as a society. So
There you have it, guys. This lady is definitely stay tuned. She's gonna be doing amazing things in life because she's an amazing person. And thank you so much for sharing. Now,
thank you, Vlad.
You tell them where they can find you, and all your different sites and websites, and what to look forward to now in 2020 that you're going to be doing with the pop art and stuff.
So basically I have my own website that I'm working on. So it's called The Art Galore. I'm adding on more pieces. You can find me there, and also my Instagram, of course. I use it a lot to do IGTV videos and promote my work. So you guys can find me there too.
What are the IGs and the websites?
My name is like super long, so it's Mary Lee with no N, so Mary Lee, Vaillancourt, and then I'm just gonna write it down because it's like super long.
And I want the people to keep up to you, so they can see what you have, so they can follow up and see what amazing projects you have coming.
Okay, so thank you.
There you guys have it. Mary Lee Vaillancourt. There you go. Yeah. Mary Lee Vaillancourt.
My website is drgalore.com. Yeah.
And we hope for in the future, we get a Happy Monkey rendition from you, Mary Lee. And you too, Fiona. How about you?
I'll do it. Absolutely.
How about you, Uncutt? What can we look forward to 2020? Tell the people where they can find you.
Well, always Uncutt Art, UNCUTT. Always TT's, double T, Uncutt with 2 T's. Uncutt Art. And then Protect Your Heart. You can always find me there as well. I have a lot of good stuff on there that you guys could support and purchase merch, different things of that nature. For 2020, where can you find me? I'll be in your heart, where I've always been. Like she said, like Fiona said, the first time is a lot of uncertainties happening, and I'm gonna be real frank and honest with you guys. Wherever the message is needed, that's where I'm gonna be, whether it's in art or anywhere else. So I'm just going to be floating until I see which direction this thing is gonna be going, which I have a lot of predictions. And you know, a lot of things are changing in such a beautiful way, and the art world is gonna change with it. So I'm always gonna be in the streets because that's one thing that's never gonna change. So that's that.
Well, I want to thank all you guys. I know you guys could be anywhere in the world virtually, but you're here with me. And like I said, I'm honored to call you guys friends and associates and family, and happy, you know, that I'm definitely get to witness and hear about all the amazing things you guys are going to do. And as far as everybody else out there, I know it's some tough times, but you're all too blessed to be stressed. I'm sure things will get greater later. For now, Vlad checking out from Happy Munkey Happy Hour. Till the next episode, guys. Peace.
Peace.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vlad. Love
Peace,
you.
Vlad. Thank you. I appreciate your time, bro.
Thank you so much.
Bye.